this computer. So why divide polynomials? The reason to divide a polynomial is, so this is to determine if a solution is a real root. All right, and remember that the word root means that it hits the x-axis, right? And so so if we have a graph that looks like this, okay, this graph has two real roots, right? All right, so those are what's called real roots. And you can use dividing polynomials to figure that out, all right? And that's what we're going to do today. All right, so so you can decide. All right, so here's a polynomial, x to the fourth power. All right, so this is a function, x to the fourth power, all that stuff. All right, and we want to know if you can divide this by x minus 2. All right, and what this will tell us is, when x minus 2 equals 0, okay, then that means x equals 2, right? Because 2 minus 2 equals 0. Okay, so is 2 one of these? Is it on the? Does the graph hit it on the x-axis? And this is one way to find out. All right. Another way to find out is to graph it. Okay. And this happens to be a graph of that function. So here's the function over here. All right, so I put this is Desmos. It's a great graphing calculator. And I put this function in over here, and then I hit enter. And it tells me actually that, notice that right here is this function goes through the x-axis at 2. So by graphing it, I could know right away. So that's one way to do it that's other than synthetic division, okay? And this is what that whole graph looks like. It's kind of a weird looking graph, okay? All right, but dividing is another way to do it, all right? And so there are two ways that you can divide. One is long division, which you learned and I'm sure hated when you were, well, hated every time you had to do it. And then there's another one, it's called synthetic division, all right? Okay, so synthetic would tell you that it's some kind of a shortcut or slightly different, all right? But first I'm going to do long division, all right? And I am going to do this without a ton of explanation, simply because there are easier ways to do this, but I'm going to show this. All right, so when we do long division of polynomials, all right, what we focus on is dividing by x, okay, not to subtract -2, but just x. And we want to see how many times it's going to go into each one of these things, all right? Okay, so that's what we're going to do. So how many times does x go into x to the fourth power? And one way to look at this would be to say, well, if I divide x by x to the fourth, I'm going to get x to the third power, all right? And so now you do the same thing you did in long division. Once you put something up above the bar, then you multiply it times the divisor, all right? So the divisor is x minus 2. All right, so now I'm going to put in x, this is getting confusing, okay? This takes a lot of room on your paper, by the way. All right, so now I'm gonna put this in, x minus 2, I'm gonna put that right there. So this would be the same, right, so x3 times x, that's x to the fourth, and x3, so it's -2x to the third power. All right, then just like regular division, Got too much right here. Okay, regular division. Now I'm going to subtract that. All right, so I'm going to subtract this. And since this is a negative, I have to change the sign to plus. Okay, these two cancel out just like long division. You're probably remembering it fondly now. All right, and the next thing I do is bring the next one down, 9x squared, and then I repeat the process. Okay, all right, so how many times does x go into negative 6x to the third over x? That would be x squared, right, times. All right, so we're going to put, I'm going to change the color here. All right, so we're going to say negative 6x squared, all right, and now I'm going to multiply negative 6x squared times x minus 2. All right, and that is going to give me negative 6x cubed. And now it's going to give me a positive 12x squared. All right, and now I want to, too much purple. All right, and so now I have to change the signs because I'm going to subtract. So this becomes a plus, and this becomes a minus. All right, and so these cancel out. And now I have positive 9 and negative 12. That's going to be negative 3x squared. Okay, then I bring down this 5x plus 5x. Oh, I hated long division just as much as you do. All right, and so this is going to go minus 3x times. I'm sorry if you were one of those people that really like minus long division. If you like long division, I apologize for criticizing your taste. Plus 6x. All right, too much blue. And now, so we're going to subtract this. So we're going to change the sign. So this is a plus and this is a minus. So this cancels out, and we end up with negative 1x. All right, and that goes negative 1 times. So we have negative 1x. We bring this 2 all the way down here. Plus 2. We have plus 2. And now both of these cancel out. Okay? And so we have a 0. All right. And because we had a 0 means that, yes, this is a real root. We already knew that because we graphed it. But yes, 2 is a real root because this is a 0. All right. And our answer to division, the long division, was right up here at the top. All right. So there's our answer to long division. Now, is there a way to do that without doing all of this? Yes. It's called synthetic division. And synthetic division, I'm going to put a 1 here. So we have 1x to the 4th. Right, so I'm going to put this up here. 1x to the 4th minus 8x cubed plus 9x plus 5x plus 2. All right. Now we are going to do synthetic division. For synthetic division, we use an upside down long division. All right. And the first thing I do is I write down only the coefficients. 1, negative 8, positive 9, positive 5, and positive 2. All right. And then I decide what the divisor is going to be. All right. So now instead of dividing by x minus 2, right, so this was the divisor, x minus 2 that we use for long division. We're going to use 2. All right. So we're going to use this 2, and that 2 is going to go right here. All right. And here we go. All right. So the first thing you do is you bring down this 1. All right. Now, this is sort of like your starting position. Okay. All right. So this is your starting position. Now, what you're going to do is you're going to multiply this row, right? You're going to say 2 times whatever is in this row, all right? So, no, 2 times a blank. So 2 times whatever is in that row. All right, okay, so this is a 1. So we're going to take 2 times 1, and we're going to write it right there. So that's a 2. All right, and then we're going to add, it's a positive 2, and then we're going to add these together, and we get a negative 6. All right, now I want you to notice that this negative 6 is the same as this negative 6 over here, right? So I just got a negative 6, and over here in our long division, I have a negative 6 also. All right, now, next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply 2 times negative 6. That's going to give me, and I'm going to write it right there, that's going to give me a negative 12. And so that's a negative 3, positive 9, and negative 12. Notice I got the negative 9 over here, and negative 3 over there. All right, in fact, I should write these in the same color. All right, I'm going to write negative, I'm going to write negative 6 here. All right, notice that is in the same color as over there, and then this one is this one's a 1, and then next we have blue. That was already okay. So the next thing I do is multiply 2 times negative 3. This all seems confusing. Don't worry about it. That gives me a negative 6. When I add those together, I get a negative 1. Okay, so notice that on the top of our long division, all of those coefficients are the same. 1, negative 6, negative 3, and negative 1. 1, negative 6, 3, and negative 1. Okay, and now I'm going to do 2 times negative 1, and that's going to give me a negative 2, and that means this is a 0, which was the same thing that happened down here, right? I had a 0. All right. And so there's my answer right there. So my coefficients of my answer are 1, negative 6, negative 3, and negative 1. All right. And then I just go back up here and finish it. So I subtract, just like we subtracted one exponent here, we're going to subtract one exponent there. All right, so 4 minus 1 is x to the third. And up here, 3 minus 1 is x squared. And 5 minus x minus 1, 1 minus 1. There we go. Okay, so this is a square. All right, and there's your answer. So notice that I got the same answer. So this answer and this answer right here match. And that is synthetic division. All right. Now that I have that answer, I'm going to go, I picked the example, this is one of my delta math examples, delta math problems. Okay. Tablet's a little bulky, apologize. All right, so now I'm going to put that answer in up here, over here. All right, so I get x cubed and minus 6x squared minus 3x minus 1. Okay, and that matches, so I'm going to say submit the answer. If I put that in all right, it is correct. All right, and here they show you the same thing that I just did on synthetic division. All right. So that's what you use.